Alright, so the first person to testify will be Aki.
Hello.
I'm sorry, before you begin. So everyone who testifies today will get 2 minutes to testify.
Okay. Real quick, Aki is swapping his name with mine only because I need to leave to pick up Keiki. So you can write Aki with my name, and it's Andre Perez. So I'm Andre Perez. Testifying in regards to this resolution that you senators of ASUH are attempting to pass. Real quick, I want to say that I really think it's unprincipled to attempt to co-opt 11,000 students in support of this rail project, highly controversial project, without our free, prior, informed consent. And there may be some people who will testify in support of this resolution. However, I want to make the point real clear that even those people would not have known that they would have been co-opted in support of this resolution if not for a couple of our Hawaiian senators who brought it to our attention that the ASUH was attempting to pass a resolution representing all of us without our knowledge. Given the recent Supreme Court ruling putting a halt to the rail project for not following environmental laws in relationship to Hawaiian burials, which we all know are very sacred to Hawaiians. Anybody here disagree with that? No. I think it's an affront, an insult, a slap in the face to all Hawaiian students, to many, if not all Hawaiian students, to attempt to pass this resolution. We know that this resolution was not published on your website, that it wasn't made public. Right here in your amendments, in your own words, you say...
oh, I'm sorry, that's 2 minutes. Okay,
well, let me just close by saying, in closing, this is really not about the rail. It's really about leaders and leadership. All of you guys are here part of the Senate as student young people to develop young leadership. But there's a difference between leaders and leadership. I want to call upon you to exercise principled leadership and to withdraw this resolution. And the decision you guys make today really is going to be testimony to how you get out in the real world. Yeah? If you attempt to co-opt us without our knowledge and not being transparent, what does that say about your developing leadership right now as we speak? Thank you.
Okay, next is so again, you have 2 minutes. And as a reminder, if you guys can please turn off your cell phones. Thank you.
I want to ask you guys to please start the timer after my introduction. Really love to hear people talk. You should let them talk. Hear the voices out. Alo mai ka po, mai ka la hiki a ka la po. Mai ka hopo kuki a ka halawai. E hulu e kumalo. E hopo kala a ki ia. O wao o zi, no wai ki o mai au. I speak on behalf of Hui Makawalu. Makawalu maintains a registered independent organization at the University of Hawai'i at Mānoa with 200 student members, your constituents. Makawalu, while not entirely comprised of Kānaka Maoli students, champions issues that are not limited to and include Kānaka Maoli culture and Hawaiian rights. Ladies and gentlemen, the word of today is genocide, an act with the intent to commit to destroy a national, racial, ethnical, and religious group. I bring this crime to your attention because the Honolulu Rail Transit Project is digging up and destroying the bones of our ancestors, Iwi Kupuna, Aina, our connection to Aina, our culture, our way of life. To support rail is to support this destruction. Waikalaki Vale Ika Iwi o Nā Kupuna. Never drown in the sun the bones of your ancestors. This is the wisdom of our kupuna. This is our culture. To dig up and destroy the bones of our ancestors is tantamount to murder, to genocide. For those of you who did not know this before, you now know. You can play the role of a villain, and you can force, without their consent, the entire student body, ASUH, to sign on to this bill. You can force Kānaka Maoli students to support a culture that destroys their own. You can play the role of a villain and support the crime of genocide. Or you can be a hero. You can fight for the people against greed, against corporate profiteering, political corruption, and special interests. You can be a hero. And you can embrace a culture of a nation whose homeland we currently reside on. You can be a hero. And you can fight for the perpetuity of life. And in closing, you have a choice here today. The obvious choice is the healing. Make it. If you follow through with this memo, you have made your intentions quite clear. And we will resist you until the very last aloha aina. E kume I ka hepo.
My name is Mahal and I oppose this proposal.
Hold on. As a reminder, you only have 2 minutes to speak, and when I say time, it's time.
Gotcha. My caveat is being issued to Dwayne Tegman, Heather Skulls, Francisco Coy. Identify yourselves by a raise of hand. The Iga or Kupuna, though they have passed into the poll, resist development invasions and its supporters by halting the hostile takeover and destruction of Aina. Honolulu Rail Transit, though wasting countless sums of money and time spent in advocacy of the greedy corporate agenda, was stopped single-handedly by the Iga Kupuna and the voice of the descendants. Here are the bones they dig up. Here are the descendants. Nevertheless, such power to stop the not so invisible hand of capitalism comes at a grievous sacrifice, the risk of exposure. Since the university is preferably a Hawaiian place of learning by declaration of its chancellor, allow us, the descendants of the bones, to educate the Senate on its complicity with mass murder and genocide. When Iga are placed into the honua, be it in a cave, underground, etc., they are being placed into the womb of the Aina to be born into the pole. When developing companies like HART, Honolulu Rail Transit dig into those burial sites, they are ripping open that womb, exposing the kupuna to the light, drying, breaking, murdering them. The UN General Assembly states that genocide constitutes any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group. By killing members of the group, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of that group, deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births within that group. Furthermore, the convention cites as punishable complicity in genocide. The names of the senators who vote in affirmation of this proposal will be dispersed publicly and extensively in traditional and social media. Do not for a second think that your secret ballots can protect you from being exposed for your complicity to this heinous crime. We are Makawalu, we are watching you, we are always watching you. Furthermore, the actions of the Senate will be reported to the Chancellor in a fervent manner, insomuch that despite his preoccupation with a corrupt president, the Wonder Blunder scandal, and a potentially incriminating financial audit, he will be inclined to listen. External Affairs Officer Dwayne Tegman, you are tasked with preserving an accurate image of PHH. Internal Affairs Heather Stoltz, Student Affairs Francisco Coy, you have an obligation to investigate and make recommendations to the Senate on issues of cultural and ethnic import. I believe the issue of genocide and its potential approval by the Senate as brought to this meeting should be ground enough for a movement to dismiss the proposal or stall the vote. Nevertheless, should you choose to remain silent, you shall be added to the list of racial officials who disperse at large who promote the genocide of Native Hawaiians. My name is Kahala and I oppose this meeting.
And again, as a reminder, this is just to be fair to all people testifying. We're not at all trying to, trying to misinterpret or, halt you guys from saying how you feel. This is just to be fair, not only to those testifying against the rail, against the resolution, but also to be fair to those, for the rail, and for the resident against the rail. So as a reminder, again, that's what this time is for.
Hello, my kako o makialani ka. I'm not gonna express myself on how I feel about this rail transit. I think everyone before me who spoke, pretty much I fully support them. I'm really, really upset to see that you guys wanna say that this undergrad students of UH Mānoa supports this rail transit. You guys are misrepresenting the student body here. I do not understand why wasn't this put on the questionnaire during elections. This could have easily been a question: do you support rail? Yes or no? Why did you guys not do that? Now you guys are coming behind and trying to pass this. That's all I have to say. Makawalu.
Just a question, did Kānaka Maoli go already? Yes.
Whoever did this resolution, yeah, give you credit. My 6-year-old definitely can do this better. Just saying the last, using the students to support this, which where are the students? When I was a boy, actually, I used to be a student government. And I used to fight because of these kind of issues. And the rail doesn't really show any support. What does the UH Mānoa have? What's the affiliation with this? These are the things that I think about because when you come upon mokuna, or development-wise, it's not going to be good because we're really, in a concrete jungle, let's say. Because a lot of these things, and you guys will sit on the floor. We elected you guys on. Just remember that. We elected you guys to sit on the floor to make the right decisions for the students. Okay? This is some mockery, to put this out, and don't even inform the students. We have to find it from other sources. Because you guys don't have a new website. I look up for minutes. No, not the minutes up there. So how dare you guys put a resolution like this? It's idiotic. I'll compromise with this. I don't know why all you guys staying up, agreeing to this. I don't understand. You guys should look at yourself in the mirror, every day. Think about what you guys are doing.
So your time will start when you start.
My name is Bronson Kikupa'a Silva, and I'm opposed to Senate Resolution 7-13 on the grounds that you're misrepresenting your constituents, the UH undergraduate population. This bill is a joke. I agree with Nomea. It's poorly written. The language in it is a joke. And this is clearly a unilateral resolution in support of only one side. I oppose this bill, and I also want to point out your predecessors also signed on to the strategic plan that the Chancellor put into effect in 2011. In that strategic plan, it mentions values on page 5. It states that UH Mānoa is physically and conceptually grounded in Native Hawaiian knowledge and values. Digging up iwi is not a Hawaiian value, plain and simple. You guys signed on to that. You guys are held responsible to that. This is a great heva where you have senators which are clearly supporting one side of the argument. This is a gross misconduct, and I ask that a motion to amend the resolution be included to also say that you guys firmly oppose the removal of mokuna found in the rail transit route. Mahalo.
Next, we have Ethan.
Mr. President and Senators, my name is Ethan Onikawa Porter, and I'm a PBCSE candidate, which is an undergraduate program. Even though I graduated, I have a right to speak before this assembly. ASUH should not consider this resolution to support the Honolulu Rail Project. As a student organization of a state-run institution, ASUH has no business diving into the politics of the city and county of Honolulu. Being that our university has been under tight public scrutiny during the recent events, I believe that the last thing our student body needs is to latch itself onto the very public, unpopular political circus that has become the Honolulu Rail Project. I wish to remind this body that it is an elected representation of all undergraduate students, including those who do not call a walk home and thus do not benefit from this, and those who do not support rail. As you can see, we are here. As a proud student and advocate of this university, I ask you to please vote against this measure and to protect our reputation from the pretentious power play that will further drag the name of the University of Hawaii through the mud. Mahalo nui.
What do you think? Hello. I'm sorry, Khalil wants to go.
Hello. Hello, my mama. I was born and raised here on Makawalu in Kānaka Maoli. I reside in Elm Beach, right next to Kapolei, the growing city on this island. Witness this city grow so fast to the point where it's almost a fast forward for me. And I personally do not like how this island has become an urban city. Before attending college, I did not know much about my culture. But now, as I'm now 22 years old, I know much. I don't know why my friends and my family behind me are fighting for this land. I feel that my culture and my blood itself, Hawaiian, endangered species. We are no longer around nowadays pure. And I understand that, this thing's supposed to be for traffic. Right, but I really feel we just have some dumb drivers. What I love most about my culture is that we respect one another as well as others. And what I mean by respect, I mean each and one of you should put your eyes on me. Quit looking down. No. Quit looking down, eyes face me. Because I'm looking at you because I respect. Well, I do oppose. I do not like this rail. How you guys are asking us students to be a part of it. They behind us. They said what they have to say. So you know how we feel. And what I mean by respect. Do that to me, we have a problem. No. So don't even say that here to any of us. Again, let us speak. Don't say time and interrupt us while we're talking. You understand what I'm saying?
I'm sorry.
No, you understand what I'm saying?
It is time.
I know it's time. Don't do nothing anymore.
We're just trying to follow our protocol. That's
Let him speak.
Council, listen to him speak.
We're gonna have a problem outside of his walls if you guys do that again. Understand? Respect.
Please don't do that. Please don't do that, sir.
Oh, I'm not correcting, I'm warning. Difference. Follow.
Aloha mai kākou. My name is Makawalu O'Brien, and I am a native Hawaiian student here at UH Mānoa. The first thing I'd like to say is shame on those who are in this ASUH Council who decided to create this pro-rail resolution without speaking to those who are Kānaka Maoli, or native to these islands. By foolishly assuming that the entire student body are pro-rail, you're all simply recreating a dark chapter from our own past, with ASUH stepping into the role of the foreign businessman who illegally overthrew our queen in 1893 with the assumption that they were doing good for the citizens of Hawaii with or without their consent. By recreating the past, you will also be awakening a division on campus between the students of Hawaiian descent and those who are currently in power. If you had bothered to ask the Hawaiian community here, you find that a good majority, if not all of the Hawaiians on this campus, are in fact against rail. So I speak not only to defend my Hawaiian home and its people, but I also speak in hope that ASUH can learn from the past and correct their mistakes before history soon repeats itself.
Hello, my name is Ashley Smith, and I'm a senior here at UH, and I'm studying Hawaiian Studies. As a native Hawaiian, I'm personally against rail and this resolution. The entire project has done nothing but disrespect and condescend the native Hawaiian culture and its living people. The bones, the mokuna that are unearthed and have been unearthed are as much artifacts as those that are laying in places like Diamond Head Cemetery or Punch Bowl Cemetery. As long as it cannot be established that running a railroad through those places, as you say, these artifact-rich grounds, is a sound practice, then the same can be considered here in Hawai'i. It is a proper Western custom not to disturb the dead, and we only ask for the same right. Speaking of rights, as a member of the undergraduate student body, I'm completely disappointed in the student government body for its sheer lack of respect for the input of its students. To my knowledge, there was no valiant effort to publicize this particular issue. As a student that actually voted for this particular body of elected officials, I'm sad to see that you have all admitted that rail is a very controversial issue and yet failed to alert the student body about these proceedings. With the same effort that you guys use to campaign for yourself. I urge you all not to abuse your powers of office and to listen carefully to your constituents and their wishes before you make a huge decision such as this. Thank you.
Senate Resolution 07-23. I oppose this bill for many reasons, but to name a few, it's taking a financial toll on our local families to pay for the foreigners in charge of rails. It's unpractical for the UH Mānoa students to even ride because it's not even coming here. And its unearthing of the mokuna is a blatant disrespect to Kānaka Maoli. Rail is bad for the economy because it's closing local businesses that are in the way of rail, where the rail should be. 30 businesses and 10 residential families have already been paid off and relocated. They were taken out of their homes because of the rail. On top of that, it's draining the already empty pockets of the locals and filling the pockets of foreigners, like the executive director, Daniel A. I don't know his name, but he's the director. And it's on average, it costs the family of four over $16,000 annually, while the director is getting paid over $245,000 plus a $42,000 per year for his housing and transportation. It's taking away money from people who really need it and filling fat pockets of corrupt executives that aren't even from here. He's from Massachusetts. The rail will be a hassle to catch because students will have to catch the bus to rail, the rail to town, and then the bus to school. How does that make sense? And then, for example, the bones of my ancestors are not artifacts. It is my grandma that you're digging up. My uncles, my cousins, all of our Native Hawaiian ancestors are being unearthed because of a rail system that is not even a just resolution for our island lifestyle. The lack of planning of this rail would have, if it was planned better, our grandmothers would not be dying and drying out in the sun. Hold on.
I am a student at the UH Mānoa, and I am also a resident of the Hawaiian Coast. This rail thing is claiming that it is going to help people from the west side, and it also claims that it's going to help people at UH Mānoa. It doesn't do either. Does it even go to Hawaiian? No, it does not go to Hawaiian. It stops in the beginning of Kapolei, East Kapolei, right? That doesn't help anything. You have to catch the bus to the transit, then you have to catch the rail here. It makes no sense. You guys also claim, or it is claimed, that the rail is going to benefit us with energy and electricity and all that. How is the rail going to benefit us if we're already trying to burden other islands for our energy use that we cannot keep up with today? If we add this rail, it's only going to call for more energy that we already don't have. We don't have this supply. This is not an option for us. I don't understand why you guys don't see this. I mean, it's ridiculously priced, and instead of using this money to pay for this kind of stuff, why don't we improve our bus systems, pay off our debt that we already owe, and give money back to our education system? I mean, really, we can use this money so much better than you guys are trying to use it now. And we just ask that you guys see. Look at all the people that are hurting from this. You guys throw around the word mokuna. You can't even spell it. Do you even know what it means? You think it's like bones. Yeah, okay, bones. They're not just bones. They're our family. They're our blood. They're the people that gave birth to us. They were the people of this land far before you guys. This means something. It may not mean nothing to any of you, but if you can see the pain, my friend Paul is just crying in front of you. Really? And you want to pass this? These people are my family. You hurt them. Can you not see? Can you not see that what you're doing is hella? It's wrong. So how many times they use the word hella? You don't know what it means, and it's wrong. So much deeper than that. We support the UPass. Yes, UH students do support the UPass. We did not say that we support the rail. And for you guys to assume that we support the rail because we support the UPass is pompous on your part.